Hey Bagmaker, I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everybody, happy Sunday and welcome to Sewcial Sunday. I saw everyone chatting in the comments before the show, especially on YouTube. Joey's watching from Alabama, Linda's watching from Chicago, L Squared Crafts is watching from Los Angeles. So thank you everyone so much for tuning into Sewcial Sunday. Whether you're watching our show live or later on during the week, if you're watching the recording of the show, we really appreciate it so much and thank you for tuning in. So my husband Danny is going to be joining me in just a second. He likes to make sure all of our live streaming technology is working as it should be before he joins me on the set. A few things that I wanted to shout out or let you know before he joins me. I saw that it was Randy's birthday today, so happy birthday to you, Randy. I hope you had an amazing day. Also, the August challenge is underway. There's a link in the description to the August challenge with more information, but in a nutshell, the challenge for this month is either to make a Hackney pouch from Minikin Season 3 or a Sew Sweetness backpack or lunch bag, and more information is linked to in the description, as well as that's where you'll be able to post a photo of your finished project. You have until the end of August to get your entries in. And each month we're choosing 2 randomly drawn winners for $50 gift certificates to our monthly challenges. So hello, Danny.
Hello.
While Danny is getting settled, I will be answering questions live at the end of the show. So if you have a question for me, you can type that question in the comments at any time during the show. You'll want to be logged into your account on either Facebook or YouTube, and then you'll be able to type your question. And if you could help us out and either type a question mark before your question or type it in capital letters, it helps Danny spot the questions from among all of the comments. And he'll be collecting those throughout the show. And I'll be answering as many questions as I can live. So something non-sewing related, but as a child, I collected these model horses. For many years, I didn't collect basically as an adult, but last year I started collecting again, and the company is called Breyer. They make these model horses, and every year, from what I can remember, they have a convention in Kentucky where everyone gathers. It's called Breyer Fest. It's a big deal. They have horse celebrities, rider celebrities, and their special model horses that they release during this convention. So last year and this year they had it virtually, so I was able to purchase tickets for the first time. So I wanted to show you one of the special horses that I picked up. I will be taking it out of the box, but I'm so excited that number one, I was able to attend. They had all the content virtually online, so they had video demonstrations, videos showing how to paint your horses and make accessories. So it was super cool, and I really like having the option of I know in-person events are super fun, but also online virtual events are also it enables everyone worldwide to be able to participate. And so I think that's what I like so much about our videos and our shows, because it's not an in-person sewing class. It's sort of a virtual sewing class. It allows everyone to grow the confidence to make different types of bags. And I regularly get emails from people saying that the video helped them out so much, and especially for visual learners. I think that's the case. Certainly for me, I like watching videos to learn different things. I know you do too. You like watching videos for stuff like that. So yeah, I think just the possibilities that video opens up for everyone is really amazing. So it's been a little while since you've done a pick of the week, but I think you picked a really good one for this show.
Yeah, it was Katie Ann from the Facebook group. She made a cavalcade bag. I'm gonna show it again because that was a little too quick. It's just awesome. I love it looked like a book fabric, like book covers.
Yeah.
And it just was really cool. I saw it right away. And I'm like, oh, that's what I like. And 2 thumbs up. Great job,
Yeah,
Katie.
awesome job, Katie. The bag turned out amazing, and I liked the neutral fabric that you used for the bottom of your bag. Looked really great with the print. Danny's second favorite part of the show, when he's on it, we'd like to invite all the bag makers to stand proud. Let us know in the comments that you're part of the Sew Sweetness squad. We're so happy that you're here. We really appreciate your likes. I know a lot of you already subscribed, so thank you so much for doing that. And I can't believe we've already been doing the show for over 4 years now. It seems like it went by in a flash like that. But whether you're new here or you've been watching for a few years already, thank you so much for tuning in. A non-bag related make that I've been working on, and I hope you'll help me hold this up because it's getting a little bit large. It's a quilt that I'm working on. I'm not finished. Would you mind taking off the... Yes. No.
No, wrong one. There we go.
I don't know how much is going to show up on the screen, but this is the center of the quilt that I'm working on.
I can hold it while you talk.
Oh, awesome. So the pattern is crystal cluster. So as you could see, I still have the outer borders to finish, but I bought a quilt kit because I just liked the solids that the pattern cover featured. The pattern's by Elizabeth Hartman, and surprisingly it went together super fast. It was super fast to cut out. Getting all of this finished so far was very quick, and I finished piecing the outer borders. I just have to attach them. Really enjoyable, and deceivingly, it looks like it would take a long time with all those flying geese, but it was a really quick project. No, don't bundle it up like that. It has to stay nice.
You gotta iron it still.
No, I don't want to iron it again, though.
I was gonna throw it. I really was.
I think everyone watching probably would have gasped if you crumpled it up.
They probably would have
and
laughed
threw it.
and
No, no.
you did a good job, Danny.
No, they would know that. They would know.
I'd probably get a lot of terrible comments coming. Danny, do you know how hard she worked on that? And
I also wanted to congratulate Retha. I saw that Retha mentioned in the comments before the show that she won a ton of really nice ribbons at her county fair. So congratulations to Retha.
Congratulations.
Once in a while I see pictures of Sew Sweetness bags that people have posted with a ribbon that they won at either their state or county fair. And I guess I don't really have a concept of that because growing up in the Chicago suburbs and then later living in Chicago, we just don't have anything like that. But I see the pictures and I feel a little jealous because it just looks really cool. And apparently there's ribbons for other things. I think Retha said she won also for baking as well and other crafts. And so I don't know, it just sounds really fun and I'm kind of jealous. We'll have to see if there's one a little out there somewhere else in Illinois that we can attend someday. All right, so Danny mentioned that the last couple of weeks there were lots of questions, more than we could get to live, and so we're going to use more time up for this show for answering live questions. Before we get over to that, I wanted to announce the winner of last week's giveaway, and that winner is Lynn Zuck, Z-U-K. So congratulations to Lynn.
Congratulations.
Please email me after the show. My email is sarah@sewsweetness.com. That's Sarah with no H, and we'll get you set up with your prize. And there's another giveaway later on at the end of the show. So I know you've been collecting some questions, Danny. If you wouldn't mind posting them on the screen. Let's see. Candy wants to know what bag patterns work well with larger sized prints. So the patterns that come to mind, the larger bags that work well with large sized prints, the airplane bag is a larger bag. Even though it has the handles on the front of the bag, there's plenty of room for a large scale print on the front. I'm trying to look what bags behind me. The Super Bloom tote bag, even though it's not one of the bigger bags in my arsenal, it does have a lot of room on the front for a large scale print. Trying to think what else. The Amethyst Project Bag, if you're in need of a bag for quilt blocks, I see people make them for sketchbooks, toys. I saw someone emailed me the other day. She made one for dolls and doll clothes, so that was really cool. So I also saw one made with action figures recently, so that has a lot of room on the front of the bag for a large scale print, or I've seen several over the years with quilt blocks for the front of that particular bag. Latoya says, where do you get those cute sewing shirts? So This shirt and two others I purchased from the website called Daddy Dressed Me. They have a lot of really cool sewing related merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, buttons, I think hats. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I saw on the internet that the daddy-daughter duo from Daddy Dressed Me was recently on, I think, 60 Minutes. So I'll have to make time to watch that because I'm really interested. As you could probably guess, it's a father that sews clothes for his daughter. So a really awesome concept, and I like that they're making sewing such a large part of their life. Linda says, would you consider designing a zippered book cover or carrier? So actually, even though I didn't initially design it as a book cover, I did make a book cover from the grab and go sleeve from Minikin Season 1. So that particular pattern, you use the measurements for your device, and you just need basically 2 measurements. I help you plug that into the pattern and give you instructions on how to cut your pattern pieces based off the length and the height of your item. I've seen a lot of people make them for laptops, iPads, and things like that, but I actually made one a few years ago for my hardcover books. It has a nice handle, something that I could take the books with me on the go and keep them clean and protected. And so basically I just measured one of my hardcover books a similar size to most of my other ones, and then I made that into a book, not exactly a book cover, but yeah, it's sort of a zippered sleeve for the book. So again, that was the grab and go sleeve from Minikin Season 1.
Barb says the Sloan bag is big as well for large.
Yes, the Sewn travel bag is a good one for large prints as well. That one's quite large. Stephanie says, I'm looking for a pattern that can hold a bill box. Do you have any recommendations? Do you know what a bill box is?
I assume, when you collect money when you go to fairs and stuff, like put your money in? Like a cash box?
Oh, okay.
I assume, I don't know.
I'll have to think about that one. Feel free to email me after the show. Sometimes the answer doesn't come to me quickly. Again, my email is sarah@sewsweetness.com.
Yeah, the squared ones you have.
The one behind you, with the pencils on it?
No, it's got the handle on top, like an older one. I can't remember the name of the pattern. It's like at rounded corners. It sits like this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry.
Kismet, maybe? So like that.
I'm not sure that's big enough.
More rectangle?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on.
Linda says, the kind of book cover that stays in the cover and unzips enough to open while reading. Oh, okay. So if you're looking for one that unzips fully, perhaps the Creative Maker supply case, because that one sort of has a hinge and that one will open fully to hold your book. You'll probably just need to add a strip of fabric along the zipper area to make it wide enough to accommodate a book, because the Creative Maker supply case is kind of thin. It'll hold a coloring book or a spiral notebook, but Carrie says maybe one of the trin cases for a cash box.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, maybe the Crimson and Clover trin case.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. Thank you, Carrie. Let's see. Hillary says, how do you interface cork? So that's a really great question. So if I'm using cork for either accents or straps or handles on the bag, I usually don't use interfacing, and often, especially for handles or straps, I will not necessarily have 4 layers of cork. So when I'm making a strap with quilting cotton, I'll fold it kind of like double fold bias tape. So that'll be 4 layers of fabric. With the cork, usually in many cases that's too thick. So I'll either cut the cork so that I can just have 2 layers or 3 layers. The interfacing for the cork, it depends on the particular pattern that you're working with and the result that you want for the finished bag, how structured you want it to be. So when I'm making a project with cork fabric, I'll usually use the same interfacing as called for in the pattern because I like a lot of structure. If you're looking for something a little bit thinner, or perhaps you're making a smaller project like a pouch, in some cases it'll be okay to skip their interfacing or maybe go with a lighter interfacing, perhaps a fleece interfacing or batting. So yeah, again, it depends on the project and how structured you want it to be, but if you're unsure, you can always try it in the same interfacing as called for in the pattern. Linda says, will you be stocking number 3 zippers by the yard and pulls? So we currently have it in 2 different finishes for the number 3 zippers by the yard. We do have some more coming that we'll be listing later on this week in some of the neutral finishes, like the black and white zippers with some of the different metallic finishes, and some coordinating pulls with those. So look for those later on in the week. In our shop, we have a what's new section, and all of the newest items will be in that section in the shop. Jan says, how do we register for tonight's giveaway? Do we just say hi here? Yes. So your comments either on Facebook or YouTube on this particular live show will be your entries for the giveaway. And I usually try to pepper the live shows with at least one question to you to help you out to get some of your comments in for the show. Generally, you have a week to enter, so usually it's till the end of the day this Saturday, and then on the following Sunday, I'll announce that giveaway winner. Marva says, is there anything you would suggest to use in place of Decoville Light? So Pollen makes a product called Decarbond. It's number 809, and I feel like it's a pretty close substitute for Decoville Light. They feel really similar once fused to fabric, and if you're ever concerned with a little bit of wrinkling, which sometimes does happen with the Decarbond, you can first fuse a piece of Pollen Shape Flex to the wrong side of your fabric and then follow that up with the Decarbond. Depending on the project, sometimes I cut the Decarbond minus the seam allowance to reduce bulk in the finished project. Kelly says, I need a bag to hold dog treats and my cell phone. I want the top open for the treats for training, thinking of adapting the desktop cube. That's a really good idea about the desktop cube. I could see adding just a strap with a sort of plastic buckle on a parachute clip on the back to go around your waist if you wanted it to be a waist bag. I think I did see someone mention that they made the widget messenger bag for a similar purpose as well, but I really like the concept of the desktop cube. Obviously that would hold a ton of treats, and it kind of seems similar to at least a store-bought type dog training bag. I'm assuming you'd want a zipper for the top of that though. AM says, can any bag with a drop-in lining like the Moto pouch be finished with binding and vice versa, or converted to be able to birth? I believe, gosh, we've done so many technique videos, I have a hard time remembering which ones we've gotten to and which ones we haven't. I think I do have a technique free video on YouTube, how to finish a bag with binding. So yes, if you wanted to make a drop-in lining bag or pouch like the Moto pouch with binding instead, that tutorial video I believe is on YouTube. If you would rather sew it right sides together, you'll need to sort of change up the order of sewing things together, especially the zipper area, but for sure it can be done. And if you already have the bellow pouch video, you might want to reference a bellow pouch pattern or video. You might want to reference that particular pattern for either the binding portion or sewing things right sides together, because both of those are included in that particular pattern. Alex says, how many layers of vinyl have you sewn through on your Jukey? I would like to purchase a new machine for making all vinyl exterior bags. I don't think in my demonstrations because we did a couple videos with my Jukies, I don't think I ever used vinyl for those, but I did use cork, which is similar in thickness depending on what vinyl you have. The newest Jukie, which we did a video for a couple of weeks ago and we shared it on the show, I did 4 layers of cork fabric and 4 layers of
soft and stable
foam interfacing all of those together, and I ran it through the machine. So if it could do that, I'm sure it could handle just about any thickness of vinyl that you throw at it. Mickey says, would you consider selling zipper pulls in variety packs? That's a good question. We currently sell the zipper pulls in packs of 10, but it's a particular, all of the same zipper pull, either style or color. I guess we'll have to think about that. We do have a good selection of zipper pulls going, and I guess it just depends on space down in the studio. Kelly says, maybe the jet cinched bag for dog treats pouch. I need a waistband and a pocket for my phone. You know, it's funny, when we were talking about the desktop cube just a second ago, I was thinking the jet set cinched bag from Minikin season 1. I think the reason that popped into my head was because that would probably be the closest one to a store-bought dog treat bag, at least the ones that I've seen in the past. And I think it should be simple enough to add a strap to it so you could have it on your waist, or if you wanted it to be like a shoulder bag. But I think the waist bag for the dog treats is probably the most convenient. Retha says, do you carry soft and stable? We actually do not carry any interfacings currently. To be honest, the soft and stable packets are kind of large, and they take up a good amount of space. So we just don't have space for that currently in the studio. Elizabeth says, is there an easier way to get creases out of waterproof canvas? I'm not sure. I haven't used waterproof canvas extensively, so maybe someone else can chime in the comments. My initial thought is perhaps to heat up your ironing board first, like one would do with getting creases out of clear vinyl. So you'll just heat up a nice size spot on your ironing board first with your iron, and then immediately while it's still warm, kind of glide with your hands the fabric over the hot spot on the ironing board. But if you're watching and you have a better tip, let us know in the comments, and Danny will look out for that so we can put it on the screen. Debbie says, can you use 2 layers of Decoville Light in place of Decoville Heavy? I'm not sure it would be quite the same effect as far as thickness and stiffness. I guess it depends on the project, but yeah, it wouldn't be exactly the same as the single layer of the Decoville Heavy. Teresa says, I am fairly new at bag making. My first bag was the Oslo Craft bag. It turned out beautifully due to the very well done instruction tutorial by Sarah. Thanks, Sarah. Made many bags since, still learning. Well, I'm honored that you chose one of my patterns for your first bag. I'm so happy that it was a successful make, because I think that's really important, having successes along the way, because obviously if things are difficult or the bag doesn't turn out, makes it difficult for moving on to the next project. So again, congratulations, and looking forward to seeing more finished projects from you. Erin says, do you have any patterns that would work for binoculars?
Your Ansel camera bag?
I think that might be too big. I do have a camera bag called the Ansel camera bag. Perhaps the, I do have binoculars. Maybe the Brumby pouch from Minikins Season 3. I'm sure there's other pouches that would work for binoculars as well. I'm trying to picture the binoculars in my head. I'm not sure if the Frisian pouch from Minikins Season 3 might work for binoculars as well. It might be a little close in size though. Have you ever waterproofed your own canvas? If so, any suggestions for products to use? So I have videos on my YouTube channel for both how to laminate fabric, or apply iron on vinyl, I think is the title of that particular video, or how to use OD coat. So either of those would work for making any fabric into a waterproof fabric. Out of those two, I prefer the OD coat. OD coat, you paint it onto your fabric and then cut it to size. If you'd like to see that video, you can find it on my YouTube channel. If you just go to the So Sweetness YouTube channel and type in OD coat, it's spelled ODICOAT, and that video should come up. Charlie says, you can iron waterproof canvas on the front briefly, do not iron the back. Thank you so much, Charlie, for that. And Deborah says the Brumby pouch for the binoculars, and also Valerie says the Dab Essential Oil. Oh, that might be a good option for binoculars as well. L Squared Craft says, I feel like the peas and corn bag would work for binoculars. I believe it would as well, and that's a good shape for binoculars too. So thank you everyone so much for chiming in, and those are all excellent options. Have I ever waterproofed denim? I don't know that I've used denim for something because I have some in my stash. I've never made a bag with denim, so I've also never sadly waterproofed denim, sorry. Lori says, what size rivets would you use for attaching handles to a bag? So it'll depend on the thickness of your handles and the bag fabric and the interfacing. I'm generally using 8mm rivets with a 6mm post length, if that helps. Lisa Marie says, what size needles and thread do you use on the Jukey when sewing the 4 layers of cork? So I pretty much always use 9014 Microtex needles. I use either the Oregon brand needles or the Schmetz brand needles. And if you're interested in a technique video discussing different needles used for bag making. You can also find that on my YouTube channel in the Sew Sweetness search box. If you just type in needles, that video should pop up. Mary Grace says, I sewed 8 layers of waterproof canvas today, making a holder for an asthma inhaler on my Jukey 2200 QVP. So I have that machine as well. And thank you so much, Mary Grace. Good to know. 8 layers is a ton of layers of waterproof canvas. Erin says, do you ever use Sewer's Aid for vinyl? Actually, I'm not familiar with that product, so I'm going to write that down so that I can look that up after the show. Perhaps I can demonstrate that on a future show, Sewer's Aid. Robin says, will you design more small bag patterns suitable for young girl purses? Yeah, I'll write that down. Small purses. One that comes to mind that might be a good option is the Oriole bag. It comes in 2 different sizes, but the smaller size I think is a really cute bag for a little girl. And if you have made a Sew Sweetness bag for a little girl or a little boy, let us know in the comments which one that you made, and we'll post hopefully some other options on the screen. Elizabeth says, what is the brand of your rivet press? So I purchased my rivet press years ago, maybe in 2013 or so, from Minkus Margot. It's a shop on Etsy, and she has rivet presses, just about every dye you could imagine for different things like rivets, grommets, purse feet, all sorts of different things. She has tons of stuff in her shop, and again, the shop is called Minkus Margot, and that's on Etsy. What would you recommend as an easy beginner's crossbody bag? Crossbody bag. So the Baker Street bag is one I usually recommend for beginners or confident beginners. However, that one's not crossbody. The Oriole bag, which is a free pattern, that one is a crossbody bag, as well as the Tower crossbody bag is probably an even better option. That one is sort of on the smaller side, also a crossbody bag. Yeah, it's a really fun size, especially when you don't want to have everything in the kitchen sink when you're out and about.
This is good
in your
too.
bag. The Metro double zip with an added strap makes a perfect young lady's purse. Oh, thank you so much. That is an awesome recommendation. And the Metro double zip is from Minikin Season 2, and it comes in 3 different sizes, so you'd have the option of choosing either the smaller one, the larger one, or the medium-sized one for your bag. Tony says, would you consider selling assorted colors of elastic for mesh pockets? So we do have in the shop the By Annie fold-over elastic. I've used it in several mesh pockets, especially when I want the mesh pockets to be expandable. So it comes in a lot of bright, fun colors, as well as black and white if you prefer neutrals. And you can find that in the Notion section of the Sew Sweetness website. Deb says, do they ship machines? I'm not sure if you're asking about the Rivet press. The Rivet press, they do ship.
Maybe we're talking about the sewing machines.
If you're asking about the Jukey sewing machines, a couple weeks ago I was talking about the newest Jukey that I've added to the studio. That was from the shop called Sew Mini Things, and that's mini like small, M-I-N-I. So the website is Sew Mini Things. They're located in Florida, and they do ship machines as well as not only Jukies, they ship other sewing machines as well as feet and other sewing machine accessories, and you can find their website. I believe it's just sewmanythings.com. Susan says, yes, I like 10 ounce, heavy enough to require no interfacing, but not too heavy that is hard to sew. A 90 needle is usually sufficient, no ironing, just hand press the seams. I'm not sure if that was in regards to the...
Is it a fleece?
Waterproof canvas question. I'm not entirely sure. Erin says, I got new zippers and pulls today. I love the little sewing machine zipper pulls. Yeah, I like those too. Sewing machine zipper pulls that we carry are super cute. They're vintage sewing machine designs, and we have them in 5 different finishes.
I like the paw print one. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the paw print one's really great too. Teresa says, have you ever used Woven Fuse 2? And if so, what did you think of it? I've used the original Woven Fuse. I haven't used Woven Fuse 2, so to be honest, I don't know anything about that. So I guess I can't comment on that on the show. Lisa says, I dread cutting out. It usually makes me procrastinate on a project. Suggestions for how to get good at it and cut out efficiently. So there's a few options for either cutting and fusing to make it go by a little bit faster. As far as cutting goes, we do have a lot of our patterns available as SVG files, and there's several different electric cutting machines on the market, such as the Cricut Maker, that's the one I have, Silhouettes, Brother Scan and Cut. So those machines actually cut the fabric and interfacing out for you. A steam press is another option to make the pressing go by quicker. With the steam press, it's a quite large bed area for pressing, and you can either press a lot of pieces at once, or you can sort of attach interfacing to a big chunk of fabric and then cut out the fabric pieces after the interfacing is already attached. I admit, since I'm usually making a bag from either the pattern writing stage or the video filming stage, I usually am not using those two options. I don't have a steam press anyway, but my number one tip is to get your fabric and interfacing cut out the day before you plan on sewing. Usually it takes me at least 2 to 3 hours to get that part done. And then if I'm sewing the next day or a few days later, then I'm sewing with a fresh head instead of, oh, I already spent 3 hours cutting and fusing the interfacing. Now I'm going to sew. I'm sort of tired already. So try to get that done at least the day before. Bridget says, do you interface canvas to make it sturdy with sew if what? So I have made a few bags with canvas fabric. As I mentioned before with the cork fabric, I do like my bags to have quite a bit of structure, so I'll usually use the same interfacing as called for in the pattern. Depending on the fabric, sometimes I'll treat a fusible interfacing as a sewn interfacing just to avoid any wrinkles. Again, that depends on the fabric and the interfacing choices. Barb says, would OD coat hold up if you wash the fabric? I don't see why it wouldn't. So OD coat is that paint on product that makes the fabric waterproof. Since it is meant to be waterproof, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible to wash it, but I guess my recommendation would be to check the information on the product or the product listing online for those specific details. Carla says, the Minikins Hackney pouch would be a good one for the Nintendo Switch, probably the medium or the large.
Sandra asked what would be...
Okay, awesome. I've seen a lot of people make the Hackney pouch from Minikin Season 3 for a Nintendo Switch or other supplies. And in fact, I saw someone was planning to make the Frisian pouch from Minikin Season 3 for the Nintendo Switch because I guess they had a lot of other extra accessories, so they wanted the 2 separate compartments in the same pouch. Kathy says, for the Mustang organizer, I have Sewn fleece. Will that work instead of fusible? Yes. Sewn fleece will definitely work well instead of fusible fleece or even batting in that case. Rebecca says, I would love a new wallet pattern. I guess I haven't had any ideas for any new wallets lately. I'll put on my thinking cap and add that to my list. We'll see if I can come up with anything for a new wallet. Patty says, which bag would you suggest to make in clear vinyl for concerts? I actually have a specific bag for that. In Minikin Season 3, we have the Pinto Stadium bag, and that was made in clear vinyl because over the last few years we had a lot of requests for such a stadium bag. So again, that's from Minikin Season 3. How do you recommend dressing up nylon webbing? So you can either... I've done a couple of things in the past. I've either attached to the nylon webbing a piece of grosgrain ribbon. So Renaissance Ribbons makes a lot of really fun and beautiful designs for ribbons. So you can either top stitch your ribbon to the nylon webbing before starting to assemble your project, or you can sort of encase the nylon webbing inside sort of a fabric sleeve. So you just see the fabric, but you still have the strength from the nylon webbing. And I should have a video on my YouTube channel demonstrating how to do that, how to get that nylon webbing inserted into the fabric and stitched in preparation for your project. Tony says, do you have the country singer Lynn Anderson's Dolly the Quarter Horse in your collection? Just curious. She was my first model horse. I do not, but I'll have to look that one up. There's a website with all different the model horses, all the different colors that they ever came in, and I kind of enjoy browsing that website, so I'll look that up after the show. Is there a sewing machine cover pattern for the Jukey? I do not currently have a sewing machine cover pattern. I do have it on my short list for a future pattern, but I'm not sure how fast I'll be able to get to that. Maybe not this year, but hopefully soon. I was thinking of a pattern that was sort of like the grab and go sleeve where you could plug in the measurements of your either sewing machine, serger, cover stitch machine, whatever kind of machine that you have, and make the project to fit your exact machine. When using vinyl, does it require to be interfaced? I think my answer for vinyl is pretty similar to what I was talking about earlier with the cork fabric. Again, usually don't use interfacing for handles and accents, but depending on the project, I'll generally use the same interfacing as called for in the pattern for vinyl. Kathy says, Sarah, how is your garden? My mom came over actually a few days ago to help me plant. I don't know what I was thinking. I ordered plants online, and I ordered them in huge trays, so quite large amounts. I did this earlier this year as well. And then, of course, it's the hustle to get them all in the ground. So my mom helped me plant. We got about 20 of these new plants. I buy plugs, so they're sort of smaller, younger plants. We got about 20 in the ground the other day, and then I still have to plant. I won't even tell you how many more I have to plant. I was thinking tomorrow morning I would plant those new plants, and I was super happy. Speaking of the garden, it rained today, and it rained a couple days ago, so I was super happy. Fingers crossed that it rains at least one more time this week. If it rains twice a week, not back to back, then I don't need to water the new plants, and so I'm hoping for another day of rain this week. Louise says, do you have any patterns for a men's wallet? Depending on how involved you want the wallet to be, we do have the free cork bifold wallet. It's a free project and video. You can find that on my YouTube channel. Just a simple bifold wallet. Should take about 10 minutes to make all in. You can make it with any fabric that you can cut and leave raw, such as cork, leather, vinyl, I suppose wool. I haven't seen any made with wool, but that's another option as well. Lots of great questions coming through tonight. Have you ever tried Sashico technique? I have not. From what I understand, it's hand stitching. I have not ever tried that, but I have seen lots of lovely projects made with that style of stitching. Sharon says, I was just thinking too how nice it would be to have a pattern for a water bottle carrier too, something for long walks. I will put that on my list also. Are you looking for a water bottle carrier with like a lid, maybe like a zippered lid to come off the top, or maybe just an open-ended, just sort of like a little sling bag for it? Let me know either in the comments, or you can email me after the show, and I'll write that on my list. Nancy says, my husband wants me to make a manly holder for his iPhone to clip to his belt, maybe a future design. Do you think the Day Trip cell phone wallet, but maybe not with the front pocket, would be what she's looking for as far as a...
Well, generally like phone clips, I think he's referring to is like a case that's got an attachment back here that clips in your belt. That's the only kind of phone case clips I've seen. So I'm not sure how you would implement something like that.
Okay. Let me know. Again, you can email me after the show and let me know exactly what you had in mind. Jeanette says, do you have an opinion of the air threading Jukey serger? I do have a Jukey serger that is air threading. It's model number MO1000. I haven't used it in a while because I haven't made a garment in a while, but the my previous serger was the Brother 1034D, which was not an air threader. And I have to say, I only have the comparison of those two different sergers, but I have to say the air threader makes things a lot easier. I always dreaded threading the serger, especially when maybe changing thread colors, and so the air threader made things definitely a lot easier. Stella says, anything special when working with waterproof canvas? I can't think of anything. Again, I haven't made a lot of projects with waterproof canvas, but if you have, and you have some tips and tricks for that, let us know in the comments and we'll try to get that up on the screen.
I was going to say there's a few comments about, I'll put that one back up in a second.
Okay, another person asking for a water bottle holder with a pocket for phone, money, and keys.
A few of them said open water bottle holder with a location for your phone and keys.
Okay, writing this down. Phone. Sue says, which patterns would be good for gifting to men? Anything for organizing charging cables. So I think years ago I made Danny a Creative Maker supply case. I made it in cork, and it was for his Kindle and charging cords. What other...
Creative Maker, did you just say that?
I did say that. From Minikin Season 1, the Zeppelin pouch, which is sort of like a DOP kit type of bag.
You need something where you can have like you have like your pencil holders and markers, and use those instead to hold a pencil marker, but cords.
To hold the cords, yeah.
Yeah, keep them organized.
If you are looking to make the Creative Maker supply case, but for different things, because I designed that particular pattern with elastics to hold pencils, but I do have a free bag making technique video on my YouTube channel how to adapt that particular project to hold different items. So I'll show you in that video how to use the elastics to measure out. Say if you want it to hold like something like your rotary cutter, like a thicker, bigger item, like how to figure out the measurements for the elastics, how to attach those into that project or any other project, I suppose, where you would want to attach elastics to. Elaine says, what is the best backpack for a 6-foot-tall man? I'm planning to make backpacks for a Disney vacation. So, well, how tall are you?
6 feet tall.
6 feet tall, and out of our backpacks, which one do you like carrying the best?
Cumberland.
You like the Cumberland backpack? Okay, so Danny prefers the Cumberland backpack.
I'm not used the widget. I think I might like using it might be too small.
That's not a backpack, though.
I know. I'm thinking it's like something carrying around into Disney parks. Bigger is not always better. You don't want something you're lugging around walking for 4 or 5 hours, and everyone takes all their stuff and puts it in your bag, so you're carrying a large, heavy bag around.
That's so true.
Sarah made all of us bags for Disney.
Yeah, this was a few years ago. We all had Park Sling backpacks. I made myself the large size, and then for the kids, we all had the small size. And then I also, years later, I made the Park Sling backpacks, but I guess it depends on if you want the single strap or the 2 straps.
That's it.
You're calling on the questions? Yep. Okay, I apologize if I did not get to your question live, but I'll be back again next Sunday. So we rotate our shows. Every other Sunday, Danny's on the show, and then the Sundays that he's not on the show, I have my full Social Sunday shows with the technique videos, book reviews, notion of the week, fabrics, all that. So that'll be this upcoming Sunday. One last thing to get to is the giveaway. So the giveaway prize, I went into the vault for this one. So it's in 2 parts. One randomly drawn winner will win this whole entire prize. So the first part of the giveaway is some Bosal Interform interfacing, foam interfacing. And then what I pulled from the vault is, I'm showing the bolt here, but the prize for this will be just 1 yard of this fabric. But this is a fabric that I designed for my first fabric line for Art Gallery Fabrics. The fabric line was called Jungle Avenue. It's since out of print, but this was sort of like a subway map from my fabric line. So I decided it would be a fun prize to offer this as part of the giveaway. So it'll be 1 yard of this fabric and the 2 packages of Bosal interfacing. All you need to do is comment on this live show either on Facebook or YouTube. We'll randomly draw from all of the comments, and to help you out, here's an extra question you can answer in the comments. Since I showed you that Briar horse toy that I got recently, let me know in the comments. Collectible, yep. What was your favorite toy as a child? Let me know in the comments your answer. What was your favorite toy as a child?
Either He-Man figures or G.I. Joes.
Yeah, we had He-Man figures. I don't think we had G.I. Joes, but we had He-Man and She-Ra for sure. So let me know in the comments. The giveaway will close at the end of the day this Saturday, and I'll announce the winner on next Sunday's show. Thank you so much for joining us for Social Sunday. I hope you have a great week, and happy sewing. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.